Hello BookTube, this is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video. I'm down the lower level and I'm just going to show you the used books I found at thrift stores the last 3 weeks here in Southwest Michigan. I don't know what day it is. I really don't. I didn't bring my clock down. Yes, last night was the 25th. It was a Tuesday. Today is a Wednesday. So today is Wednesday the 26th, March 2025. It is going on 7 o'clock at night. I'm down the lower level. And I just want to show you these books. I'm not going to go into them. Time is of the essence. So I'm just going to show them to you, and I cataloged them in my library thing, Book Mountain. They're mentioned in my online diary, Crooked Fingers, but here it goes. I bought Mozart in Vienna, 1781 to 1791 by Volkmar Braunbehrens. This is translated. I got this from the German by Timothy Bale. This is Zombie. It's a Gothic horror by Joyce Oates. I think I showed you this. I collect Joyce Oates. This is a biography on Lord Acton by Rowland Hill. Forward by Owen Chadwick. This is a Yale University Press. I got this from Gateway Mission Thrift Store a couple weeks ago. The Day of Empire, Amy Chahu, How Hyperpowers Rise to Global Dominance and Why They Fall. The Essential Reinhold Niebuhr, Selected Essays and Addresses and Edited, introduced by Robert McAfee Brown. The Templars, How Dramatic History of the Knights Templar and the Most Powerful Military Order of the Crusades by Piers Paul Reed. I think I've shown some of these. I think these are, I'm not sure about Grand Complication, a novel by Alan Kurzweil. I have his novel, The Case of Curiosities, somewhere down here in the lower level. This is Oates, The Rise and Ruin of a Supreme Court Justice by Bruce Allen Murphy. He was a Supreme Court judge under the presidency of Lyndon B. Johnson. There's a picture of him with Lyndon B. Johnson. It's a biography, like a political biography. This is a biography by Washington Irving on A Life of George Washington, edited and abridged by Jess Stein. See, it looks blurry to me. I don't know why. This is a crime novel, Case for Alarm by Eric Ambler. This came out in the 40s. This is a series called Vintage Crime, Black Lizard. My wife used to have a whole shelf of these, and she got rid of them. This is on Guernica, the Total War. It was a city in Spain that was bombed during the Spanish Civil War by Patterson. probably pronouncing it wrong, but Wolves and Men by Barry Lopez. This is natural history on wolves and men. I already have this, but I wasn't sure when I bought it, so this will go in my car on the double books I take to Blue Stockings. There are doubles. Then I bought this biography. Got this at Goodwill. The Last Empress, Madame Chiang Kai-shek and the Birth of Modern China by Hannah Pollock. I think some of these I've shown already. The Last Witnesses, the Oral History of the Children of the World War II by, I can't pronounce her name, she was an Ukrainian Russian. This is translated by Richard Pever and Larissa Vonskiski. I can't pronounce it. This is a little biography on Eisenhower by Paul Johnson, a little mini biography on Eisenhower. The Hope and Glory, this is British History by Peter Clarke. Hope and Glory, Britain, 1900 to 2000. There's Churchill on the cover. This is Coffin for King Charles, the trial and execution of Charles I by C.V. Wedgwood, very famous British historian. This took during the Cromwellian Revolution in the 17th century, and this is British history. Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard. This is a history of the Roman emperors. A sweeping account of the social and political world of the Roman emperors by the world's most famous classicist, Mary Beard. This is a novel by the poet Randall Jarrell, Pictures from an Institution, a comedy. This is the only novel he wrote. He mostly wrote poetry. Well, primarily all he wrote poetry. This is his only novel by Randall Jarrell. The Fox and the Hound, The Birth of American Spying by Donald E. Markle. The Workshop of Democracy, from Emancipation to Emancipation, I can't pronounce that word. Proclamation to the Era of the New Deal by James McGregory Burns, American Experiment. This is in a series. Emancipation, to emancipate. Anyway, I got that. These are our Norton Critical Editions, Madame Bouvier by Flaubert. Another Norton Critical Edition, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. War and Peace by Tolstoy, Norton Critical Edition. Another biography on Eisenhower, Ike, American Hero by Michael Korda. The Barbarous Years, Peopling of British North America, the Conflict of Civilization from 1600 to 1675 by Bernard Balin. The Meadow, which is like nature and somewhat fiction, by James Galvin. This is a memoir on familiar terms, a journey across cultures by Donald Keene. Donald Keene was a very famous literary critic of Japanese literature. He devoted his life to Japanese literature and translations. I collect Penguin Classics. This is Edith Wharton's The Age of Innocence, a novel. I collect Penguin Classics, so I bought this. This is Devouring Frida, the art history of popular celebrity of Frida Kahlo by Margaret A. Landyer. I collect her, this artist, and it's kind of underlined, so I might not keep it. See, it's kind of damaged. I'll probably get rid of it. This is One Family, Their Missing Sons in the Fight to Defeat the Nazis, a Castle in Wartime by Catherine Bailey. Midnight in Chernobyl, The Untold Story of the World's Greatest Nuclear Disaster by Adam Higginbottom. Enter the Dragon, China's Undeclared War Against the U.S. and Korea, 1950 to 51 by Russell Spur. City Beast, 14 Stories of Uninvited Wildlife by Mark Kurlansky. Mark Kurlansky. Mysteries, The Death and Life of Edgar Allan Poe by Mark Donzeskake. This is a little biography on the life and death of the American writer Edgar Allan Poe. The Romanovs ruling Russia 1613 to 1917 by Lansley Hughes. Hitler in Los Angeles, How Jews Foiled the Nazi Plots Against Hollywood and America by Stephen J. Ross. Debatable Land, Lost World Between Scotland and England by Graham Robb. Russia and the Age of Peter the Great by Lansley Hughes. And then there is The Life of Graham Greene, Volume 3, 1955 to 1991 by Norman Sherry. I think I showed these to you. I plan to get Volumes 1 and 2 used. I have them in my Amazon box. So these are the thrift store books I got the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they've been stacked up here by my table, and I wanted to put them away. I did get some new books in the mail. Well, no. I got this in the mail, the new Nell Zink, Sister Europe. I told you I was going to get the new Nell Zink, her new novel. I finished her last one, Avalon, the other night, and now I got her newest one, Sister Europe. Then yesterday I went downtown Holland with my wife. She wanted to get a pair of shoes, and I went to Rita's World. It's a retail, family-owned bookstore. It sells new books, magazines, and other things. And I bought Free Speech, A History from Socrates to Social Media by Jacob Machamagama. I can't pronounce that name. I bought this at Rita's World. And then I bought a book of poetry and essays by the classicist, poet, essayist Annie Carson, Wrong, Normal. So that's it. That's just shows you kind of stuff I collect when I'm go to thrift stores. I look around, and if something looks interesting, I like biographies, I like history, I like poetry, I like Penguin classics and things like that. I like. So then I just buy them, and then I just try to find a place down the lower level for them. Yeah, there's nothing really here that's really, I don't know if I showed you this one, Defiance, Extraordinary Life of Lady Anne Bernard by Stephen Taylor. The Fate of Africa, History of 50 Years of Independence by Martin Meredith. Let the Sea Make a Noise, A History of North Pacific from Macmillan to MacArthur by Walter A. McDowell. So that's it. Like I said, this is a Wednesday. Tomorrow's a Thursday. Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Well, today there was an estate sale across the street. Didn't really see anything really exciting. They didn't have anything. I don't think I bought at that estate sale was this book, The Last Witness, An Oral History of Children of the World War II. I bought this at the estate sale across the street today. So it's gone 18 minutes. I just want to get these put away, get them off my mind. If you got any questions about them, I'll put the books list below. That I didn't show you all the Auchincloss books that I got. I should show this. Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, I got all these Auchincloss at the Gateway Mission a week ago. Fables and Wit, Elegance. This is edited and with an introduction by Louis Auchincloss. These are different writings. It's like an anthology. Most of these Auchincloss are short story collections, but this is the novel by Louis Auchincloss. There's a picture of him. Education of Oscar Fairfax. The Partners, a novel by Louis Auchincloss. I collect them, and these I didn't have. Fellow Passengers, a novel in portraits by Louis Auchincloss. There's a picture of him. Lady of Situations by Louis Auchincloss, a novel. Three Lives. I think these are short stories. Yeah, these are short story collection by Louis Auchincloss. The Anniversary and Other Stories by Louis Auchincloss. I got these all at Gateway Mission. Narcissa and Other Fables by Louis Auchincloss. There's a picture of him. Louis Auchincloss, The Friend of Women and Other Stories by Louis Auchincloss. I got all these at Gateway Mission. The Last of the Old Guard by Louis Auchincloss. Exit Lady Masham, a novel by Louis Auchincloss. There's another picture of him. East Side Story, a novel by Louis Auchincloss. False Gods. This is another collection of short stories by Louis Auchincloss. Here's a biography of Louis, a literary biography by Louis Auchincloss by Christopher C. Dolly. And then there was, oh yeah, I found this at Gateway too. This is essays by John McPhee, Looking for a Ship. These are essays by John McPhee. So I got those at Gateway too. Yeah, when I saw a whole shelf of Louis Auchincloss. So I called Carol up on my phone and said, look at my library thing and see what I have of Louis Auchincloss. So she looked at it and I said, do I have this? Do I have this? And she said, well, you have that. And I didn't have that. So I knew, so when I called Carol up, I knew which ones I had in my library and which ones I didn't. And the ones I just showed you by Louis Auchincloss, I did not have by him. So, but most of what I found at the Gateway Mission were short story collections, not his earlier novels, which I still haven't have. I have 4 or 5 of his earlier novels I don't have. But he's like in the same tradition of Edith Wharton and Henry James. He lived in New York City. He was a very well-off, I think he was a lawyer, and he wrote about society, life of the upper class in New York City. His novels are very short. You could probably read them in a day, 2 days, but I have always enjoyed reading him, so that's why I collect him. And I have all of Henry James and all of Edith Wharton and people of that kind of, like, it's almost like novels of matters or novels about high society, things like that. I kind of like. So yeah, so I got to put all these away. I just want to show them to you, and so I can get them off my mind. Yeah, I really haven't read anything of these yet. Like I said, I'm a book collector. I go to thrift stores. It's kind of my hobby to look for books, and I have the space right now. I do plan to take some books to Blue Stockings Bookshop for in-store credit. I have 3 huge boxes in my car. I'm going to add a 4th box this week. And I talked to the owner of Blue Stockings that I have some books that I want to bring. And she said, I got to set a time up. You just can't show up. You have to set an appointment up. So I got to do that. And I do plan to get rid of more books throughout the spring into the summer. I'm going to go through my library and start dehauling stuff. And I just got to make a decision what I want to get rid of and what I want to keep. So I hope you're having a good reading week. Thank you for the new subscribers. I know this is kind of like one of my crazy videos, just showing books and just throwing them around, but I just had to get these off the floor here by my chair. So I hope you're all doing well. Here in Southwest Michigan, it's still cold, but spring is slowly coming. Well, spring is here, but like I said, it doesn't get warm until maybe April or May. So once again, I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, may the Lord bless. Bye.